Welcome back to this music reviews, the only music review show that is under a desk, and today I want to talk about AvP, the Blade and Tyboy album. Because recently on TikTok I saw a post that was saying that this album is one of their worst. And surprisingly, a lot of the comments seemed to agree with this take and said that AvP was one of their worst albums. And I saw a lot of general criticism for this album. I did a bit of digging and I realised this is actually quite a common opinion. And a lot of Blade fans do think this album is below average for him. And in this video I just want to do a review of the album. Because I'm going to be honest, I do not believe that any of this is true. Listen to it one more time. I can confidently say, I do not understand what you guys are saying about this album whatsoever. I'll talk about the production, and it's just so good across all of these songs. One that I want to call to the spotlight is Broke Boy. It's just so unique. It's got this great atmosphere. There was really nobody else doing it like White Armour at that time. The Echo 2K verse on that song is just brilliant. On Area 51, I also like the production quite a lot. The melody is just really catchy. That song gets stuck in my head the most. But all of these songs on the album have good production. White Armour's atmospheric and cloudy melodies with their bass as well is just so good. And I know I keep using this word, but it just really creates an atmosphere on this album and you just get submerged into it every time you listen. It's just crazy to me how people don't like this tape. But to be honest, I didn't actually see much criticism of his production. The main thing that I saw criticism of was their vocals and their lyrics. A lot of people said Blade's vocals were quite weak compared to his usual standards. A lot of people said the lyrics were just not as interesting as usual, a bit more generic. First point, I heavily disagree. I think Tyboy sounds great on this album. I think he just has so much energy. I don't see how people can say it sounds boring whatsoever. Blade at some points, I do kind of see what they're getting at, but I just do not think that he sounds sloppy on this album or anything like that. Some of the best moments on this album is just Blade's voice, bro. On Winter, the outro, it just hits different. The Area 51 hook and the Still in Search of Sunshine hook is so memorable and catchy. About the lyrics, however, I do kind of agree. I do think it's less unique, but honestly, I'm not too bothered. I don't think they're bad by any means. One thing I love about this album a lot is how short it is. This album is only 20 minutes long, which some people might view as a bad thing, but I actually really like that for the album. If this album was like an emotional masterpiece like Ever Since, you'd want it to be long, but because this album has more emphasis on just making bangers, it's kind of good that it's short. It's just something that you can throw on in the background. I don't think anyone would really listen to AvP if it was an hour long. Edmund here. I've interrupted this album to tell you that my favourite song off of this album is Area 51. Speaking of the songs on this album individually, it's just full of bangers. Still in Search of Sunshine with its amazing hook. Same for Area 51. They've both got brilliant verses from Tyboy. Painkillers as well, with an amazing Blade hook. He really did his thing on this album. And Winter as well, just so good. 2X with that amazing Tyboy hook that's just so catchy. That's been in my head so many times. 1 Million, I actually didn't really like that song at first, but it just grew on me so much. I love that hook again. And Broke Boy, of course, with that Echo verse, just an iconic song. I think people might like this album more than they realise, because it's got some classics. Taking into account how the vocals on this album are actually a lot better than people are saying, and the production is, if anything, above average for White Armour, which is crazy. I just don't see how people can hate on this album. I mean, it's just my opinion, and people can obviously disagree. However, I just don't see how this is lower in quality to anything else that Blade and Tyboy have put out. I think I'd settle for a high 9 on this album. I'll give it like a 9.6, because I do think there are slight improvements that could be made, but overall it is a near perfect album. So yeah, that was my thoughts on AvP. What do you think about AvP? Do you agree with the things that I said about AvP? Comment down below please right now. Thank you for watching, subscribe, peace.